Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. So let us start the discussion. I'm sharing the screen. In this class, let us discuss about neural network. So more specifically, we will start with simple feed-forward neural networks. And then we will see the backpropagation for updating the weights or learning the neural network. And we will try to formulate it in vector matrix formulations, and then try to see how do we relate that to backpropagation in that to some of the very small steps of backpropagation. So we see the overall backpropagation. How do we relate it to the primitive steps of propagating the error? Okay. So, and then subsequently we will see a little bit of a few other things. So how do we do it in deep neural networks? We will also see how done through computational graphs. So these are the aspects that we will see in feed-forward neural networks. So let us now start. See, what's a neuron? I suggest you to answer quickly, those who know, which you know, and then subsequently we'll move on. So what is a neuron typically? So you might have seen about synapses, dendrites, and how the electric pulses from different neurons passed on to a neuron through synaptic weights, and then they sum together and fire a neuron. Okay, so that's the biological aspect of neuron. So when we model a neuron, how do we model a neuron? How do we model it? A quick answer is welcome. So you have
we use a weight and a bias.
Through?
A weight and a bias.
Okay, so we have several inputs x1 to xd. These inputs are being weighted w1, w2 up to wd. Okay, and then we have a bias to this neuron, specific to this neuron, that is b. Okay, so these put together get summed up, right? And then you apply a nonlinear function on this sum to map onto an output variable y. Correct? And this y is equal to, in some sense, this f of what? Summation wi xi I equal to 1 to d plus b. This is what we have seen. This also we have seen as net value is wi sigma wi xi plus b. Correct? Can we rewrite this in a simpler form in terms of vectors? If we consider x as an input vector, what is this x1 to xd? What are these x1 to xds? What are these x1 to xds? Features. Okay. Or attributes. Of what? Of what? Need to tell little quickly. Features of what? No answer? Prakash? Yes. Yeah, tell quickly. See, unnecessarily don't waste your time. Features of what?
Input sample.
Yeah, input samples to be classified. So I may have actually let it be face sample or let it be fish sample or any other samples, cat, dogs, whatever image. Okay, or even a sound signal, voice signal, to be classified to which speaker it belongs to, or it can be fingerprint, or it can be any other sample. Okay, so even so leaf sample with some attributes, or with some easy sample with some peaks or whatever attributes. It can be any sample. Fine. So you should not lose the real picture of what's happening here when we go to the theory. So of samples, features of or attributes of samples to be classified. And okay, and then what is W is the weight vector. So how do we rewrite this? Net value is equal to W transpose X plus B. Is it not? And then what is Y? Y are what?
Output.
Labels of these samples. Labels means what? Class labels. Okay, if it is a binary classification problem, then the class label Y can take 0 or 1. That is a true value for binary classification. That means it belongs to either first class or second class. It can't belong to both classes. Okay, that is a binary classification problem. Right? So now, in such cases, this is a neuron. How do we train a neuron? What we need to learn in this neuron? This is input, output pair. See, not just for neuron, but any learning algorithm. This is very important. What is the input? What are the dimensions of the input? What is the output? And what are the dimensions and other features of the output? Okay, so how the output should be. Also, these decide the architecture and many other things. Right, so these are important. And then what is that we are learning in neural networks?
Weights and bias.
Yeah, so we need to learn weights and biases to be updated or found based on what? Based on what?
Loss function.
Yeah, minimizing a error function. Okay, or optimizing an objective function. So we need to define an objective function. See, these usually are called elements of learning in some sense. Okay, so there are basic few constituent elements. Okay, of learning is one is data. Input output pair is nothing but data. Okay, this is learning algorithm. So how do we do this? Is by learning algorithm. Okay, for this what you need is a cost function. So how do you formulate a cost function now? Can one of you tell what is the cost function which usually we are well known? Yeah, tell how do I find cost function? How do I formulate a cost function?
We can use a distance metric.
Hmm?
We can use any distance metrics.
Yeah. Function or objective function. Between what and what? Distance between what and what?
The label and the output.
Yeah. So if we consider Y is the label, okay, and then the output is targeted output is T. T is target output. Desired. Okay. And Y is what? Output from network. Okay. F for given weights. So in fact, Y can also be written in some of the things as X, function of X, W, and B. In fact, W means W includes W and B. Okay. Is this fine? So this also in some sense a kind of notation people use to relate Y and X. Okay, so how do I formulate a cost function J equal to? This is one simple cost function. Fine. But I may have actually, see if I have multiple outputs here, okay, then things will change. If I have multiple samples, okay, and if I want to have an overall cost for multiple samples, then also things change, right? This is the simplest form. Or if I want to formulate, given the recent discussion that we had on cross entropy and KL divergence, okay, if I want to formulate a different kind of cost function, can you suggest something or objective function? This is referred to as mean square error. These are square error based cost function. L2 now. Okay, for cost. Right, tell how do we do it for the cross entropy based objective function? See, if I want to use cross entropy based objective function, what Y should be? What is the range of Y should be?
0 to 1. It should be probable.
Yeah, so what I expect is Y I might have got this F typically is, okay, if I consider F as sigmoid function, okay, then 1 by 1 plus e power minus net value. Okay, so then it brings from the range of this will be 0 to 1. Y belongs to 0 to 1. Correct? So then I can interpret this as a probability of belonging to either, say if it is 1, it belongs to class 1. If it is 0, it belongs to class 2. I can predefine like that. Okay. So I get a single probability, but based on the probability, if it is high, it belongs to one class. If the probability is low, it doesn't belong to that class. It means that it belongs to other class. Okay. So that's the binary cross entropy. Okay. So we define here in this situation, not just cross entropy, binary cross entropy. Fine. So how do I define it? So net value means, you know, right? So I am not writing explicitly. And now here also I assume that the target probabilities, okay, will take values 0 or 1, right? Because it's a binary cross entropy. If it is belongs to class 1, it is 1, class 2, 0. Okay, something like that. And then by how do I define binary cross entropy? I may define a loss function like this. Okay, L or J, whichever notation I may use. Cross entropy people usually put CE here. So how do I define it? Quick answer is welcome. So to which density should I approach? From which density? That determines how do I define loss function here. I am not getting any answer.
We need to approach the target density.
Yeah, so that's why I'm writing. Okay, so Y into, so here usually there is a summation. Previously, if you have seen, if a random variable takes, if it is a probability mass function, T takes two different possibilities. Then what happens? The summation Pi or Qi, ln of Pi or Qi ln of Pi, I over 1 to 2 here, two possibilities. Okay, this is how we define. Okay, this is just a guideline for definition of cross entropy. Okay, so now this is so H PQ, right? So this is the definition. So here I takes two values. Here P is nothing but Pi is nothing but Ti target. Okay, and then Qi comes from Y. Okay, because Y can take Y not 0. So I want to see how much it close to T equal to 1, how much it close to T equal to 0. So that I will do by using this expression. Is this fine? Is this clear and fine or not? Any questions here? See, you should tell, some of you at least should respond, right? Are you people sleeping at? So everyone is thinking that other student. Yeah, Sandeep. Prabha.
It's clear, sir.
Yeah, it's clear. Why don't you tell one of you? So why unnecessarily you want to waste your time and my time? Okay. So fine. So this is the cross entropy. And then what we are doing is through learning, what we are trying to do, we are trying to update the weights or learn the weights such that this loss function or the cost function is minimized or objective function is optimized. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So now for learning, what we need to learn is this, but this learning is through objective function. So through using objective function, and there should be a learning algorithm for that. So what is the learning algorithm we use? In terms of a single neuron, for learning a single neuron, what is the learning algorithm? This is also called what? Yeah, what is the learning algorithm we use? Quick answer is welcome.
Gradient descent.
Yeah, gradient descent is the algorithm we use. So what does gradient descent says? What does gradient descent says?
The loss is calculated and the values are updated by multiplying the loss, by differentiating the loss with respect to the parameter.
Yeah, learning algorithm. Okay, here learning parameters is what we have discussed. Okay, which are the learning parameters? Here what we are discussing is learning algorithm. Also, it is gradient descent. So what we do is say, if we define this also as L, okay, here L means square error. So usually if we take more, we take mean, but otherwise here square error. Okay, so what do we do is weight whatever parameters we want to update. I is A, RGI. Here only just single parameter. So WI T plus 1 is equal to WIT minus. So what does gradient descent says? You move in the direction opposite to the direction of gradient at the corresponding location of parameters you have. So you take the gradient of this function, okay, L or J, fine. And then move in the direction opposite to this gradient. Okay. So in the parameter space, so if I have two W1, W2, I can plot this W1, W2 in this direction. So I can have W1, W2. Here, I may be at some point now, okay, for at given location. So what I may be doing, so to minimize this loss, I may be moving from here to here, okay? So, and then after further minimizing, I may move here. Further minimizing, I may move here. Okay, so finally at some point, I may have a optimal, say this is an optimal point, okay, where the loss is minimized. So I will be moving in a parametric space, fine. So this parametric space is function of W1, W2 and B also in case if I have bias. Okay. So if I have more W1, W2, W10 and B, I will have 11 dimensional space in which I will be moving. Okay. And then I'm trying to see that the height of the function in that dimensional space is what? In that dimensional space, what is that I'm looking for? Yeah, what's that I'm looking for in that dimensional space? Kishore? So I may ask you people to switch on also in that case, switch on the cameras and keep audio and so on. So it's too much to ask. You should tell quickly to make the class moving and lively. Otherwise, I can just go ahead and complete and give you some recorded lecture. Yeah, so what I'm looking for in W1, W2 dimensional space?
Global minimum.
I'm trying to see the minima for what? Minima for?
Loss function.
Loss function. Okay, minima for loss. So the magnitude I see is the loss function, L. Okay, or J. So in that I'm trying to see the surface of the loss function in that dimensional space, hypersurface or whatever. Okay, I'm just moving on that space. Okay, for different parametric values, W1, W2 and B or whatever, I'm trying to see where I reach minima. So sometime what may happen, I may reach global minima, as somebody has mentioned. Global minima means for the whole cost function in that space, there is one value which is minimum, okay, of whole values. Or I may sometimes struck in the local minima. It means that there is a valley to again go reach some height and then go to even smaller values, okay, minimum values. So such small values are referred to as local minima. I may struck at local minima or I may go to global minima. That depends upon what. So do I struck at the local minima or do I go to the global minima? Depends upon what?
Initialization of weights.
Very good. Initialization of weight. What else does it depend upon? What else does it depend upon?
Learning parameter.
Learning parameter. What else? See how fast I move sometimes will determine, because I may move, if I'm moving very fast, I may go to other extreme and then oscillate. Okay, I may not be able to settle at a global minima, even if I reach global minima. Or if I go very slowly, I may stuck at local minima, I won't jump out of the local minima. So learning parameter also to some extent decides it. Learning parameter mainly decides also how fast I move. Okay. And initialization also determines. What else do you think it moves? It determines. Okay. Learning rule also determines. Because see, if gradient descent learning rule may not be sufficient for learning to reach to the global minima. But if I improve this gradient descent with momentum term, it may help even better. Okay, something like that. Okay, so along with these four elements, there is one more element that decides the algorithm, or that decides the efficiency with which I can reach to the global minima for a given classification problem. What do you think is that? Quick answer is welcome again. That is
Learning,
correct. Huh? What is
learning.
learning rate is fine. This all comes under learning algorithm. See, in mentioning learning algorithm, all things are taken care. Okay. So learning cost function, everything is taken care. What are the parameters I learn? I will define somehow. Okay. And then the data input output also determines in what way I give. These also determine, in addition to that, architecture, which I am following. It may be neuron, single neuron. In that case, say if I have a problem where I want to demarcate the samples which are not linearly separable, do you think will I be able to do it?
No, sir.
Will not be. So that such constraints do we have. Okay, so in such cases, what architecture do you suggest? If we can't separate the samples by a linear line,
We can use more layers.
yeah, we can use a network of neurons. Okay, if the samples are like this, okay, we'll not be able to separate them by a linear line. So in such case, what do? We use a network of neurons to give a decision boundary of this R. Okay, which is non-linear. Fine. We can also try to get a decision boundary which can also do non-separable samples to classify. Okay, so that can be done through a network of neurons. So the architecture which I employ for a particular classification task also is the one which will determine the classification accuracies. So now let us consider a neural network. Okay, here what I request is quickly tell me the things that I ask in between to move forward. We will sketch the neural network in slightly different way. Okay, we might have seen with all neurons, okay, and then inputs, outputs, we have sketched in the earlier MLIT class. Okay, here X be the input I am giving. The sketch of network will be slightly different just to make few things easy for us to right here. See, XR inputs. What are again XR features, right? And W. What do you think is this W?
Weights.
Weights. It includes all weights, biases, everything. Okay. So let that be like that. And then I'm getting directly, say, for example, it's a single neural network, but I have several neurons here connecting several inputs to several output neurons. Okay. So there is no hidden layer as well. So only thing is, this is also similar to the binary classification problem like we have just discussed. But here the same thing is that actually it has multiple outputs. Okay, so we are trying to classify into a, let us assume that digit classification kind of scenario. And the relations are, here we have net value, which is equal to W into X. Fine. W into X means there is a B also included in it. Okay, so X, you know, right? So X can also be written as X1 up to XD and 1. Okay, and then weight vectors will also can be written as W1 up to WD and bias. Right? Given this, I can write into W transpose X form. Okay, and if there are multiple outputs, then each output will have actually one connection from all the inputs. Okay, so there will be a W transpose X for each of the outputs. Okay, and hence what happens? The output relation, when O is O1 up to OC, there are C classes. Okay, this becomes a matrix. Is this clear or not? Is this notation clear? and O is equal to what? F of net value. Is this notation clear or not? If it is not clear, you should ask me. So explicitly, if you want to write, net value is equal to W11 and to W1D W1D and bias B1, W21, W2D and bias B2 and so on. Okay, you have this with X1, XD and 1. Hope this is clear.
Yes.
No, up to where it should go. W, what is the last row?
B.
Yeah, W, C, D, B, B, C. Number of biases will be equal to number of output or here like the output neurons, right? Not be equal to number of input neurons. So that's why it is BC. Okay, so this is what we had, right? And this is the net value. From this net value, you may use any nonlinear function. Okay, mapping onto the either the outputs labels. Okay, so that can be F can be a sigmoid activation function, or to map onto the binary labels, or it can be any other activation function, threshold activation function, or any other activation function. Okay, is this fine? Is this picture clear here? What I have sketched? So fine. So I will move on. If you have any questions, you should only ask. Okay, now what we want to see is what is the cost function here? We want to write quickly cost function. One of you can you guide me? Error cost function. How do I define? Let us try to define in vector form. Okay. So how do I define it? Tell quickly. See, in scalar form, if I want to define first, before if I want the vector form, y minus, say if ti are targets, ti whole square, I equal to where?
1 to C.
1 to C. Yeah. So this can be k equal to 1 to C. And if I want to write in vector form, how should I write? I want to write in vector form.
We need to include class. Index. We need to include index.
No need to include index. Okay, it's half into O minus T whole square. That's all. Okay, norm O minus T whole square. Okay, so this is the square error. And similarly, I can also write any other cost function. Okay, cross entropy. I am not writing here. Okay, it will goes in similar lines with this, except that yi and 1 minus yi, ti, 1 minus ti, summation over whole line or k. That will come into the picture. Okay, I am not writing here. Fine. Now I have this cost function. What I want to do is I want to write the back propagation here. Okay, so how I should learn weights and biases here. That's what I want to know. So the whole this has to be learned or updated. How do I learn it? Can one of you guide me there? Where should we start? So the guidance for learning this is, see, if we go like this, I don't think we can discuss good details. Wji, each elements of this t plus 1 is equal to Wji of t minus what I'm doing here, what I'm trying to write.
Weight updated question.
Yeah, so learning rule. Here also we apply gradient descent, dou L by dou Wj. Okay. So this requires back propagation. So this is gradient anyway, but using this, I want to do back propagation to update the weights. Okay, when I have more layers and so on. Fine. So now how do I compute dou L by dou Wj? So L is essentially we have here whole square, right? So if we write in this one, Lk as the error with only kth neuron associated with kth neuron, then it is sigma Lk, where Lk is equal to OK minus Tk whole square. Okay. So how did we write in back propagation? Dou L by dou Wji. Wj is the corresponding neuron which will connect from ith input here to jth output here. Okay. So that now is how do we write it? Dou see this we have actually dou L by each of the OK output will have actually Wji in it, right? So what we write? So all will be involved in that summation. So dou L, this essentially can be written as dou Lk by dou Wji, right? And this is equal to what? Summation. So dou OK by dou Wji into dou, dou Lk by dou OK into dou OK by dou net k into dou net k by dou Wj. Is this fine now? Previously, we were trying to write in vector form directly. So let us go to the vector form, but first let us write the scalar form and then go there. Okay, k equal to 1 to c. So can you quickly tell now what are these different things? Dou Lk by dou OK is how much? Dou Lk by dou OK is how much? Is this clear or not? What I am discussing now?
OK minus Tk.
Yeah, OK minus dk. And then what is the second term? OK dou OK by dou net k. What is that? So now both are scalar relations only. So OK is nothing but f of net k. So what is dou OK by dou net k? OK equal to f of net k. Okay, both are scalars. Please note that net k is also a scalar and this is also a scalar, right? So what is this now? What is the dimension of just what is the value of this? It is f dash net k. It is a scalar. Dou net k by dou Wj. What is this? Net k is equal to what? Sigma Wji xi plus b. Is it not? J equal to 1 to I equal to 1 to d. So what is dou net k by dou Wj? Hope you are clear here. Right? This is clear or not? Is this clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is dou net k by dou Wj?
Xi.
Xi. Okay, so this is what we had before. Okay, and summation over k equal to 1 to c, what you get, this will be delta Wji. We write it as. Okay, so this now what we are trying to see is we try to see this in a vector form. Okay, here. So when we try to see in a vector form, what we do is dou L by dou O. Okay, but actually we can write in two ways. One way is we write in scalar form and then sum them. Each of them may be computed and then computed in vector forms, or we can directly try to put in vector form. See, when we want to write dou OK by dou net k in vector form, what is happening is the corresponding values are only considered. Let me try to put it there. See, this same one we can also write in vector form as dou L by dou Wji is equal to dou L by dou O. See, L is actually a function in terms of O minus T. So I can write as dou L by dou O as 2 times O minus T. Okay. So into dou O by dou F, dou net, when I write, what I'm doing is the kth element of OK, I am differentiating with kth element of net k only. Okay, because you can see that I am not differentiating with other elements. Okay, it is again a f dash also is a vector of C cross 1. Okay, and then the next thing is dou net by dou Wj. Let us see the terms little more clearly here. Dou L by dou O is what? So in vector form, you have actually L equal to norm of O minus T. Okay. And O is equal to F of net. Okay. And then net is anyway equal to W into X. Okay. Plus B is there, but we can just consider it within W. Okay. These are the relations we have. So now what is dou L by dou O? What is dou L by dou O here? It is simply, yeah, tell whichever you know very clearly.
O minus T.
O minus T. Okay, and then what is dou O by dou F, dou net? See here, what I am doing is I am defining differentiation of dou OK by dou net k only I am doing essentially. Okay, I am not trying to differentiate even though the both are vectors. Okay, I am trying to differentiate only corresponding elements of the vector. Okay, in this differentiation. Fine. So in that case, it will be f dash into net, where f dash is activation function. And since f is a sigmoid, if it is sigmoid activation function, whatever is the dimension of this net will be dimension of f dash net. Okay, is this clear or not? So it's as if I am passing a vector. Say if I am doing x is a vector, okay, x square if I am computing, what I do element wise square I compute here. So it also be a vector of dimension 2 cross 1. Okay, if x is dimension 2 cross 1, this f of x is also dimension 2 cross 1. Then f dash x is also dimension 2 cross 1. Okay, which is equal to 2x. Is this clear or not? That's what I am trying to do here. Okay, dou O by dou net is nothing but differentiation of the corresponding output with respect to corresponding input. Okay, that's what I am writing here. Because as you see in the expression here, OK by net k are only involved. Fine, is this clear or not? Is this clear or any question around? Dou OK by dou net k is how much then? It will be f dash. F dash depends upon what f I use. Okay, and then f dash of net. Is this clear? Yes or no, you should tell.
Yes.
Yeah, dou net by dou Wji now we need to see. See, what is dou net by dou Wji? This is not very trivial. So let us see with a little more details here. So net value here is equal to net 1, okay, up to net d. Assume that net whatever, net c. Okay, so then the w, let it be w11, w1d, b let us leave for simplicity. w21, w2d, and so on, WC1 and WCD. Okay. And then here what we have is X1 up to XD. Now let us leave this bias and one that we will add later. Okay. So now this is the net value, assume that. Now the question is dou net by dou Wji we want to find. Okay. So this before finding this, a net is a vector. So I want to find, before finding this, I want to find dou net k by dou Wji. To simplify my computation, I want to start with dou net k by dou Wji. Okay. So now can you tell me what is dou net k by dou Wji? Given this relation, what is dou net k by dou Wji?
XI.
Xi, very good. But see, Xi is fine. But there are three variables here in the input. Okay, the output variable is only one Xi. So are there anything missing here? See, net 2 if I write, for example, okay, W21 X1 plus W22, okay, X2, and so on, I may have up to W2D XD. Is it not? This I have, right? Now what I want to do, dou net to 2, okay, by dou W3 4 I want to find, assume that. Okay, this is what I want to find. What do you think is the answer now? Dou net 2 by dou W34 I want to find. Because W34 is some of the element in this matrix, I can still find the derivative. Okay, I and j can take values other than k. J can take value, or in fact, j can take values other than k. Okay, so I can write like this. What is the answer now for this? Answer? 0. Yeah. So now if I do dou net 2 by dou W23 if I find, or 24 if I find, what is the answer? Dou net 2 by dou W24. What is the answer?
X4.
X4. Okay. So now even though it's not always Xi, right? So dou Wj not always yields Xi. Is it not? It also depends upon this k. Yes or no? How should I put it here? How do we put it here?
K and J should be same.
What is that? K and J should be same. Fine. So how do I write it in notation if I want to put that? Any quick suggestion? Which is the function which will enable you to on only at a single place? Which is the function that helps you to just at a given point it should be 1 and the remaining points it should be 0.
Impulse function.
Impulse. That's all. People can write like this, or they can also write more specifically delta k equal to z into xi. This is the answer, right? This is dou net k by dou Wj. Is this fine or not? This is in fact a 3 variable output. So this is a tensor people call. Okay. So in fact, all are tensors. Okay. Vector is 1-dimensional tensor. Matrix is 2-dimensional tensor. And this is 3-dimensional tensor. Okay. We will also see multiple dimensions and tensors. Okay. Point is a 0-dimensional tensor. Okay. Like that. So now this is a tensor output. So now I can also write for different k, it becomes a 4-dimensional tensor. Okay. So now what we will write? So for completing this, I will write here dou net k by dou Wji as delta k equal to j into xi. Is this fine or not? I can also write in some sense 1 k equal to z into x. Okay, x is a like vector. So because actually this finally I should get a no. For each k, I will get a, say if I set k here for a given k, if I fix k equal to 2 or something, I will get actually a matrix output. I'm supposed to get a matrix output. So what will happen? This, if it is D cross 1, this C cross 1, then it should be 1 cross D. So for that I use transpose here. Okay. So essentially I will just quickly summarize or complete here and we will discuss further. O minus T, taking care of the dimensions, dot star F dash, because both are C cross 1. Okay, please note that so far it is C cross 1. Okay, and then into dou net k by dou wj. Okay, this is also C cross 1, C cross D. Okay, this is C cross D. Now put together whole thing, what we get is C cross D, which is equal to dimension of matrix. And we will see in the next class that, so this net k I can now leave, because this leaving this net k will also give me C cross 1. Fine, we will discuss further in the next class on this, and then see for multi, like when we have more number of layers. Fine then, thank you. So what I suggest is in the next class, you people respond quickly. Okay, so that actually we will be able to discuss a little of quickly and better. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.